1941. Granddad came up first to work for the P&O Railroad as a Pullman porter. Grandma came up second with my mom in her arms. Mom was 6 months old. Grandma went to work for Planned Parenthood. It was frontline work in 1941 in Catholic City and Catholic State. They moved into the McCullough Homes housing projects. Granddad would go on to become a probation officer. Why? Because back then, a little bit after Brown, you could go to the University of Maryland School of Law and the tuition was $200. He went for 1 year when they didn't want Negroes, they didn't want night students, the dean said, but that was the law, so Granddad got in, and he hung in for a year, and that was enough to become a probation officer. Grandma would go on to become a social worker. Along the way, she would train a younger social worker named Barbara Mikulski. I saw the senator at an Emerge Maryland event back in December. My running mate, Susie Turnbull, isn't just part of this wave of women running for office for the first time across the country. She's helped build that wave, in part because she co-founded Emerge Maryland on her porch. So we're at this Emerge Maryland event, and Barbara Mikulski walks up to me, and she says, "You're Mamie Todd's grandson." I said, "That's right." She starts to tear up. He said, "Senator, my grandma was 101, but she's very much alive." So would you like to talk to her? She said, "I would love to talk to her." She said, "I can?" I said, "She's 101, she's always at home." So I pulled out my phone and they spoke. And the senator said, "Well, you see how just saying her name affects me." I said, "I saw that. What's that about?" She said, "Well, she trained me when I was a young social worker." I said, "Well, what did she do?" She said, "She made sure I knew how not to feel awkward." And I was beamed. I was like, wow, Grandma did a really good job. Because I can list 100 adjectives to describe Barbara Mikulski, and awkward would not be. Mom would go on to sue Western High School for girls when she was 12. So she could desegregate her when she was 15 in 1955. She meet my dad as a teacher at Harlem Park Junior High. Dad's white from Maine, mom's black from West Baltimore. Dad proposed 3 times in 1 week. She's black. Mom said yes the 3rd time. The first time she actually lectured him on how she never intended to date a white guy, never want to marry him. That didn't dissuade him. By the end of the week, they were engaged, but they had also figured out that they would have to leave the state. Because in 1966, it was not just illegal for whites and blacks to marry in Maryland, it was illegal for you to remain in the state and cohabitate as man and wife across racial lines. So Dad looks at Mom and he says, "You know, we already have Loving versus Virginia moving through the courts. We don't need Jealous versus Maryland too." And so I was raised in Northern California in the school years and summers in West Baltimore with my grandparents. These days, I'm a partner at Cape Capital. I run the Baltimore outpost of the Silicon Valley investment firm. We invest in double bottom line companies. One of our flagship companies, Pt1, co-founded by a graduate of Morgan State University, it's cut the cost of calling home from prison by about 80%. 68% of our companies have a black, Latino, or female founder. The fastest growing one, Genius Plaza, the founder's all through. She's Afro-Dominican. And of course, I was the youngest president and CEO of the NAACP's history, and that's how I know. Now, I'm not running for governor because I need a job. I'm running for governor because I have a vision that we can finally fully fund our schools. Make sure that the casino money, the promise is kept, and go further. Restore teaching to being a first-class profession in Maryland. You know, in Maryland, our educators, our teachers in particular, start out $20,000 less, $44,000 a year on average, than they do in Washington, D.C., $65,000. We will change that. But we will also make it possible, we will make sure that all of our kids show up to kindergarten ready to learn, because we will put universal pre-K in place. And we'll make sure that all of our kids, when they end their publicly supported education, the free education, are ready for a career. Because we will make all of our community colleges free for every student. Why? Because they used to be. When I said that granddad went to the University of Maryland School of Law, the tuition was $200, and now it's $31,000, and if it merely kept up with inflation, it'd be $2,600. What I'm saying is that we will go back to our community colleges being tuition free because they once were. And how will we pay for it? I put a plan on the table. 2 plans. One to end this year of massive student debt, the other to end the year of mass incarceration. And ending mass incarceration is how we will pay to end massive student debt. Because if you understand state budgets since the 1970s, what has happened is that as we spend more on incarceration, we spend less on public higher education. As the president of Penn State said to me quite plainly, I said, "Sir, what is your greatest leadership challenge?" He said, "Oh, it's quite simple. Every year I go up to the state capitol to keep so much more money from going to the state pen, so just a little more of a plan." And so I put a plan on the table based on my experience working with bipartisan leaders in other states when I was president of NAACP to cut our prison system by 30% in 3 years by shifting addicts to rehab, instead of incarceration. Making sure that people who are coming out of prison are actually ready to work because we've dealt with issues of illiteracy and we've made sure that they're trained. And doing that will save $660 million. And we can funnel it right back into public education. We'll also go further. I've said quite simply, we will tax the 1% more. Somebody said to me, wait, you mean that the community colleges will be free for rich kids too? I said, yeah. So why? I said, well, we need to make sure everybody's ready for a career and help, but I said also their parents will be paying for it. And we tax the 1% more. I have a vision that we can finally make sure that everybody in Maryland has health care. Our healthcare system in America is the least efficient in the Western world. We pay more, we get less. Here in Maryland, it's the #1 cause of personal bankruptcy. Not having healthcare or having insufficient healthcare coverage. And it's a top 5 cause of untimely death. And it's killing our small businesses. I spent 6 months of my life trying to move a factory from Edmonton, Canada to South Baltimore onto a street, East Greenberg Street, on a block. 3/4 of that block is a public housing project. 1/4 of the block is a brownfield. The factory would have gone to the brownfield. It would have brought 30 good-paying, low-skilled jobs with healthcare day 1, and 300 such jobs day 1,000. And the city was all for it, the state was all for it, we were moving full speed ahead. And the entrepreneur woke up in a cold sweat one night and started Googling how fast healthcare costs have gone up under Larry Hogan in Maryland. Double digits every year. As a small business person, I can tell you, as a small business person who is committed, my partnership, we are committed to providing healthcare to all our employees. I really don't care if you're increasing my taxes or increasing my healthcare costs. It's kind of the same thing. And under Hogan, our healthcare costs gone up double digits every year, and the exchange they've gone up faster. 55% in 3 years, followed by 30% last year. We can fix that, but what it means is that we have to move to a single-payer Medicare for all system, similar to what they have in every other Western nation. As a young politician, Bill Clinton said a long time ago, there's only one way to fix this problem we have. And as Winston Churchill said a long time before that, you can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they have tried every other alternative. And when it comes to healthcare, that's what we've done ever since Bill Clinton hit us the fact we need to move to single payer. Now, folks will tell you that the things I want to do are hard, and they're right. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. I'm a black guy who's mom grew up in McCullough Homes housing projects running for governor. They don't think this is hard? But I'll tell you this, I've been an organizer since I was a 14-year-old precinct captain for Jesse Jackson. And I've specialized my whole life in getting hard things done. I was in Maryland during the year because in 1 year, Maryland during the year by the Baltimore Sun, because in 1 year I led the successful effort to abolish the death penalty in Maryland. First state south of the Mason-Dixon to do so. Martin O'Malley himself applied a few years earlier. He didn't succeed, but I got it done. That year I also co-chaired the successful effort to pass the DREAM Act in Maryland, making sure that our Latino and our African immigrants who are here without papers but brought over as children could get public education in the one place that they'd ever known as home, to which their parents had been paying taxes. Public higher education. Also the first state south of the Mason-Dixon to do so. And that year, when it looked like marriage equality would fail on the ballot, on his first day on the job, I marched into the offices of the president of the Human Rights Campaign and put a plan on his table and said, if we work together, the NAACP and HRC work together, we can make sure that this passes on the ballot. Recruited a young organizer from Baltimore named Fagan Harris, and we got it done. And that's how we will win this campaign. And we will win every victory. This is not about making me governor as much as it is about putting the working families of Maryland back in control of our state's priorities. And so I'm not simply inviting you to join us through the 26th when we win this primary, and we need your help. With your help, we can do it. We started off in fourth. We're now have been tied for first for 4 months in our internal polls, and it feels like the wind is finally at our backs. Or even through November, I'm asking you to sign up for the next 4 years, the next 8 years, to push our state to do the right thing. Other people will try to convince you that it's politicians who make change happen. That's never been the case. You know, my grandma used to watch Juanita Mitchell's kids when she would run the branch meetings. My family's movement people, and what we know is that it's the people who give the politicians courage. I'm running for governor to lead the people of this state, in leading our politicians to finally stand up for the rest of us and make sure that all of our kids can pursue their dreams and none of our seniors have to fear that their lives will become nightmares. I'm the only governor who said quite plainly, I'm the only candidate for governor who said quite plainly, well, I'll claim that victory, but I'm the only candidate for governor